let me start of how we got to this presentation, and by talking with Anna, what we are observing from our experience into the VC world. We are acting in Romania in the last 6-7 years, working with startups and actively investing in early stage companies, so pre-Series A. With the second fund, we are moving also towards Series A, more late seeds and Series A. But as we talk in Europe, we talk a lot about deals which are in this range of couple of 100,000. That's the majority of the deals. I don't know how you see it from your different countries, but this is the large majority of deals. And then you start to have the companies which are in the couple of millions. Unfortunately, we don't have a big portion of investments in Eastern Europe, but I think throughout Europe, which are in the millions, in the tens of millions. We have hundreds of thousands and millions of ticket size investments, which are happening in startups. So it's predominantly an early stage environment, which can grow to and I think we could focus towards with the narratives towards going to scale ups and not necessarily to unicorns, as is more general discussion when we talk about startups. And I think it's much more healthy to talk about this. And as we and to acknowledge what we should to acknowledge what we actually can do in Europe, and to be realistic about that. And when you start to talk about these things, it's this type of deals. There's a lot of risk involved, and you need to see. You cannot get rid of the risk. You can just mitigate or diminish it, or making it smaller, diminish it. Like this, we arrived to this topic of a discussion today by looking into our historical approach and our day-to-day activities, which involve a lot of activity or a lot of investments, which actually are co-investments, because co-investments are a measure of working with other investors in order to validate the potential opportunity, and then if you validate or invalidate the opportunity which you observed, because always when you make an investment, things maybe look better than they'll actually get to be. So when things get a bit more harder, not impossible, but harder harder to work with that company, it's a regular thing in our activity. We are prepared for this, and that's why co-investments, it's the measure in which you can have more partners at the table to support you into that. And that's why I think it's a topic which it's a bit underseen, and the majority of the early stage deals should be done in co-investments. You shouldn't rush towards grabbing a deal. It's more towards identifying potential deals, but on the other hand, with who can I work on making this deal more and more opportunistic, more and more successful. From our experience in Techcelerator, what we did in the accelerators, for example, we're accepting companies, not exclusively, but with priority, those companies which are being validated together with other business angels or crowdfunding entities with which we could work into that deal. Usually we prefer to believe that we are not the smartest person at the table, and we prefer to have more similar people smart enough but humble enough, I don't know, in the same time, at the same table, in order to team up and to see what can we do, of course, to invest into those tickets and to have skin in the game, and then to see how that potential success we can really make it a reality. And this is how we arrived at this topic regarding the coin investments. And if we observed that if you really focus into not making investments, but towards making coin investments, you naturally arrive also at the pipeline, which comes to you from your partners in investments, your partners in crime, and assures a lot of, builds a lot of trust and communication between more investors on the sourcing part, but even more important on the making it stellar in the after process, which making an investment takes you like let's say plus or minus 6 months, maybe a bit more sometimes, but making that a success, it can be 6 years. So you better have colleagues which feel the pressure, feel to share things, feel to contribute, feel to activate their inbound communities, and to support that company in a native way, not just that somebody is asking them to do that a favor, or let's save the planet together. Okay, so coming a bit, I listed a couple of main topics on this direction of co-investment. It's important to know your goals. It's important to do your homework. It's important to build trust and report a report of collaboration. It's important to be flexible and adaptable, and it's important to add value and learn into this process. If you want, you can go step by step into these topics. But I'm inviting you really to make it like a dialogue, and if you, with your agreement, I'll invite you to make a tour de table in terms of this. So maybe let's start with a bit of you passing the microphone and make a tour a little bit with what is your understanding in terms of co-investments, or what is your experience until now with this topic of co-investment. So let's make it also a little bit like an icebreaker. Claudia, you raised the hand. You want to start, or sorry, you. It was very honest that I thought you raised your hand. So, Paul, maybe, so, or
I think Natasha had
her
hand raised before me, but yes, I can wait for Natasha to speak, and Natasha, we'll contribute afterwards.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Natasha.
Hello, Cristian. Thank you for being here. So I'm Natasha. I work at BTI, also like Anna, as an innovation analyst. And our experience with co-investments is probably a little bit different, because our investment is to develop pilots usually.
Like POCs, no? Proof of concepts, or what type of pilot?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's a bit like a step before what you do, probably. But I was actually also curious to see, because at least in our programs that we work, co-investments for sure has a lot of benefits when we have like multi-partner programs, and it definitely helps to mitigate the risk, like split the risk. And I guess I also wanted to know from your side, at what you do, what are also like other benefits of this, and also probably some difficulties, because working with multiple partners, sometimes it's a little bit tricky. So yeah, I was curious about that.
Okay, I'll try then to note this, and please in order to leave the people to speak, and I'll get back to this. So you mentioned about what are the problems. This is the main thing which you are interested challenges in terms of co-investments.
Yeah, like other benefits and challenges that you see. Like both sides of the coin, I guess.
Like a cost benefit analysis of the co-investments, kind of like. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Go ahead, Paul.
Thanks, Anna. So, Cristi, as you know, we already work with Silvia and Cristina and Maria on the co-investing program, which is another European innovation ecosystem project. And the idea in that project came from a former initiative that was called, and I think this is where we've met maybe for the first time, DT2 Invest, DeepTech for Digital Transformation Investment Launchpad, a tender for AI and blockchain. And one of the missions over there was to discuss with ecosystem builders across Europe. I had on my side 6 countries to cover at the time, and most of them raised this issue of co-investments. At the local level, first of all, because they were capped in terms of investment capacity, around 500 to 1 million euros. Most of the funds being supported by the EIF or the EIB, they had limited amounts and limited ticket size. And they expressed the critical need for themselves and for their startups to go outside their ecosystem at later investment stages, starting with Series A, and find co-investors that had less constraints than they have. They had the double constraints of lower size tickets and focusing on their ecosystem because they were funded partially by the national sources. And those national sources don't allow them in the portfolio to have startups outside their own country. This might have started to change a little bit with the Scalar initiatives and the other funds that were supported by the European Commission. But it was still a problem. And we had people in Lithuania, for example, Iron Ring Capital, if I remember correctly. They said, when I want to help my startups to raise the next series of fund and make sure that we ourselves will have also a return on investment, I need to pick up the phone and call hundreds of other investors across Europe and pitch the startups, convince them to co-invest with me. So this is the, let's say, or at least this was the situation. It's maybe improving, but even with the EIC accelerator and the co-investments of the EIF, the problem is still it's still a current one. So you are familiar with the EIC fund scheme.
Yes.
The EIC supported companies who get up to 2.5
It's only
million.
co-investments there. Exactly. EIC
Yes.
invest only as a co-investor. Yeah.
Yes.
Good,
Co-investor,
good point.
less than 50% of the fund, and they still need to find their lead investor and other co-investors. And even with these guarantees, it seems that it's very challenging to find co-investors and the lead investor, even if they have the half of the amount covered by the EIF and the 2.5 million euros grant, which is very difficult to get, as you know. So yes, I think that coordinated efforts are needed on that side to connect better the investors within the ecosystem. And what we are trying to accomplish, as you know, with co-investing, is to bring these people together, have them pitch their best startups, and then get those startups outside their ecosystem to investors that have no limits, boundaries, or at least less than in emerging ecosystems.
Yeah, what I noted from you, and it's good that you made also this overview or adding a bit more targets which are familiar and operating into the perspective of co-investment. because we have a couple in Europe, and I think these are just a few. But it's good dive through this. And what I noted is to respond and to talk about the coordination of efforts, which maybe also can take a box also on the Natasha part on the challenges you have. So we can continue with this with these topics. Thank you, and we'll get back. Sylvia?
Yes, 2 points here, yeah, to open the discussion as well. One is what we saw from our experience in terms of co-investing, at least in early stage startup, pre-seed, and even seed, is that usually angel groups are part of the process. Of course, in Western Europe, we are having super angels, but in CE, we have angel groups, which is okay, and a sign that the ecosystem is growing. So here, maybe to explore how you see the roles of the angel groups in the investment landscape when talking about co-investing. And the second point was also connected to what Paul said about the ticket size, about the, let's say, the localization, of the investment. Because what we also saw in our experience with Techcelerator, but also in our experience on the local market, is that even for a co-investment in later stages from seed on, if it's a co-investment between two regional funds, for example, one from Bulgaria, one from Romania, still the ticket size is less than the round would have been done in other geographies. So maybe how do you see this this for also from the startup angle, because it may be a loss for them, but also from the investment and the investor angle, this let's say regional somehow co-investment, and where based on your experience, where do you see that the mingle between various ecosystems, meaning, let's say, UK VC and Romanian VC are happening from Series A, or where do you see it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, who wants to add other points? If not, I can start, let's say, from the or maybe to try to start mixing some of the topics because are complementary. And feel free, Paul, Natasha, Sylvia, and any of you to disagree or to intervene. So just unmute, and I'll try to make a break to let you intervene. Maybe to start from these coordinated efforts and with what Paul was saying, because I can extend it further from this. It's the fact that for sure it's very good that at the level of awareness we are starting to think more at this, and that's why I saw a nice opportunity to bring this topic into this forum. Because at least it checks the awareness, and co-investing automatically talks about a team, talks about a collaboration, talks about reunited efforts, and this is what it's very good in terms of our humbleness in front of innovation, and humbleness in terms of succeeding with innovations, is that we need to be brave, have a big vision, but be aware of the steps which we need to carry in order to succeed and to get there. And collaboration and openness and teaming up, it's very important. It's important to know what you don't know, where it's important to know that you can achieve much more with together, acting together with others in a native way, in a 1 + 1 = 3 mentality. It's very nice that this awareness it's happening more, and that the fact that we have more programs in Europe through which we could navigate with different, each one having its own challenges and the process having its own challenges. For sure, the biggest challenge into this, as Natasha was mentioning about the costs of doing co-investments, is that you definitely need to have a platform way of approach, or a systematic way of approaching this club of friends with which you want to co-invest. And in terms of measures to take, one would be to be able to engage and to maintain this certain group of collaborators in a way in which you have a lot of trust there, like trust and recommendations coming from them are not just spam, or are not just it's very important to connect with those people, to meet at conferences, to come up with any type of things which puts you into collaboration. That's why we like these projects, and by working with Paul, working with BetaI, with X6S, even in more projects, it's with Joe Consulting, it's a big value for us, for getting to know each other better, and automatically more projects, more collaborations, mobility of our startups and investors will appear between us. So definitely you need to have an ability to maintain this club. You need to think at it, and then to create a systematic approach how to do that. And it should be as deep as possible. And I don't think I have one answer or one correct answer, and might be many still. A lot of challenges will remain in terms of how to do this coordination. It would be very nice, but it's ideally and maybe unrealistic to think that we should have a mega platform for this, or the fact that we should have a national platform for this, or to have regional platforms for this. I think we should have, like also the world is going towards a multipolarity. I think we should have our own polarity and be able to merge it with polarities of our colleagues, of our partners, in terms of maintaining this group. This is something which I would also raise it in terms of also this project, and also of co-investing project in which we are collaborating, to see how we could have these meta platforms, you know, like how can we collide in terms of and investors, and these potential co-investors, angels and VCs, they are just looking for this, but nobody has the capacity of doing something big enough, just his own thing. And this is not a bad thing. This is just something imperfect in terms of the potential which we might have. But each one should maintain its own club, its own community, and we should start identifying ways how, I don't know, look, BetaI, let's explore how to correlate our VC clubs and VC engagement activities together. Paul in Paris, or others which are having these clubs of investors. Let's see how we can do it at a small scale, but larger scale that we can do individually. So this is in terms of the coordinated efforts, and it will always be a hassle to do that. That's for each deal, we need to have deal coordinators, these deal coordinators will gonna operate into this mentality of co-investment as much as possible, because sometimes it will not be possible. You'll find an opportunity for that startup to fund from one angel or from one VC or through a grant or whatever, and it will not be, you will not gonna succeed in all the cases. It will be a hassle to keep together the people and to find that lead investor, because sometimes you have a lot of maybes but no concrete yes, I'm coming into the deal. So this is we need to find ways in each deal how to accelerate the identification of a lead investor. That's why we believe very much into having your own fund as an accelerator, doing or small VC, or putting skin in the game and saying, okay, we go with this. We have positive input. So let's say we will proceed with this deal. If we have 10 maybes or 5 maybes, we don't require a definitely yes, but we're gonna put money if we have 5 maybes. Now let's see who from those 5 or 10 maybes want to join, and that's a tactic somehow how helps you not to lose a lot of time, so you have a decision, because sometimes we don't advance because we don't take decisions, good or bad decisions. We have this potential deal. We need the maybes. We put the money. Who wants to join? And it might be we can put a disclaimer and saying that we're not gonna proceed with this if none of the maybes will gonna activate. So it's a mechanism of getting back to zero, kind of like, so getting back in there. But we need definitely, in terms of the efforts, we need to have this allocation of resources towards maintaining this club and execute and finding that lead investor, and being prepared to show commitment for that through a ticket put by the group, by the entity which is which wants to take priority with that company, and to pull towards them also the other investors. Another thing which maybe we should take into consideration, what can we influence in terms of maybe this way of structuring co-investment funds, which might receive special financial benefits from regional authorities, which would support becoming an LP into a fund like this, or from EIF or from other LPs, because doing co-investments, it's a more or stimulating co-investments can have some kind of like some tax benefits to because automatically when you put more people to the table, that deal should be betterly seen. Okay, and in terms of the ticket sizes, because we talked about that, sometimes what we observe, or many times, you have this reluctancy, or you have a lot of interest people, but nobody to take the lead. So you need to kind of take it. And then after you take the lead, you have too many investors at the table, and you need to kick out some of them. So they are acting as chickens, kind of like, and then they want to be the dinosaur of the round, or at least be a consistent investor there, not necessarily the lead, because they didn't took the lead, so they agree that they are not the leader. But then you don't have enough room into the round. We saw this many times. And again, it's a time challenge, that time and resource challenge. How you tell to 30% of them that there's no room in the round for that. Coming back to the ticket size, for sure, Europe has a difference of ticket sizes. Europe versus US, East versus West, and predominantly the ticket size, or the co-investments, at least from our focus, it's more strategic, let's say, to determine it into the early stage part. So ticket sizes for pre-seed, maybe not necessarily, but they're in pre-seed. And taking a little bit also of business angels topic, I think it's a best practice to have angels with investors, one angel with one accelerator investing into the pre-seed part. Then you have the seed part, where you can do a follow-on and you start to receive maybe 2 more VCs, smaller ones probably. And why 2, or a minimum of 2? Because of assuring them support in different regions. Ideally would be to attract the VC which comes from UK if they want to expand on the UK market. Poland if they want to expand on the Polish market. Iberia, Portuguese or Spanish if they want to expand into the Iberian market. This would be the ideal, and this would be ticket sizes under 1 million probably. By the way, Betai, do you see this similarly in Iberia? In terms of ticket sizes, where do you have pre-seeds and seeds, or early seeds? Sorry, I'm referring to early seeds, because late seeds, maybe sometimes it's a Series A or something like that. Maybe Natasha or Anna or Joao, in terms of getting this information, where do you see predominantly the ticket sizes of investments into this segment?
Okay, from my experience at least, it's nowhere near like 1 million. It's usually at least, for example, like this multi-partner program that I was telling you about. We did an investment. I mean, actually this year it was really good, so we were able to double our pilot's objective. So the responsible entity actually came forward and invested almost 600K. I mean, co-invested, because then we had the other partners come in and invest. But before that, like their maximum was going to be 250.
And that would be a first ticket for the company, or a second?
No, it would be so this is now the 3rd edition. This year
no,
was
but
the 3rd.
Oh, okay, but I'm referring at the for the startup. It would be their first investment, or the second?
It depends. It depends. But these are not. I mean, they're still like early stage. But maybe not like so early.
Yeah. No. They have traction. They have an MVP and they have some traction, but they are not scaling. Yes, it's
Exactly.
they would
So
be kind
the
of
objective would be that. So the objective would be either to test in the Portuguese market, test with, like test in with different partners. So exactly, they already had like a product.
okay. So it would be kind of a zone pre-seed to seed, and sometimes it's a pre-seed, sometimes it's a seed, or it's an early seed or a very early seed.
Yes,
Maybe they had the grant before, or they didn't had anything.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty similar in Eastern Europe, and also yeah, I think Europe it's getting a bit more consistent into this type of deals, 200, 300K. Also the state aid got increased in Romania, but probably it wasn't something aligned with Europe, increased to 400K. So up to 400K, which it's hard to have good companies to give them from the start 400K, but discounting with something that 400K and getting around 200-300K, it's the case. Okay, so thank you for that. So when you start, it's hard to have large co-investors on deals of this size or even smaller, but two entities like an accelerator and an angel, or maybe maximum with another entity which is more state-owned, more research or agency or whatever, that's doable into this under 400K. It's okay. When you start to be at the 300-400K and upper, you have room for bigger type of partners to join, like micro VCs or more bigger VCs. But not under that. It's hard to do that. When you have deals of millions, for sure, it will be room even for I don't know, for 5 partners to jump in, and those which are coming from behind maybe to start to exit, to at least with a part of it. Okay, so coming back to the things which I noted here from the discussion which we had. So this cost benefit analysis, definitely you have a lot of cost which you should consider on generating investments, but the outcome, I think in our opinion, we think that it's beneficial. And it should cover that. It should cover those costs. Plus, it's the fact that it gives you more capacity in terms of building that company. Fiber on. Okay, so we talked about if you feel that you want to go dive deeper into something, please intervene. And now coming to what Silvia was saying, we talked a little bit about the ticket sizes. This part is the localization and connecting it with the angel groups. For sure, you're gonna do more co-investments along in your region or on your specific vertical. If you are a health tech investor from France, you're gonna invest predominantly in France, and with others which are bringing you these health tech potential deals, even if they are farther. For sure, it will be a point to be evaluated when you are thinking to take this decision. And if you have a health tech startup which is closer to you versus one which is farther to you, for sure you're gonna invest in the one which is closer to your region. But I don't think if that company presents a very nice opportunity, you'll find ways how to overcome the geographical barrier.
Cristian, can I?
Yes, please.
I'm checking your presentation, and I see that you have some really valuable insights here in terms of like knowing your goals and all the attitudes listed. Would you mind going a little bit through? Because I think we can all benefit from listening to your experience as well.
Yes. So in terms of the, I don't know if screen, yeah, it is shared. When you go towards the deal opportunity, definitely you need to make your own strategy and see what do you want to obtain from that, and that should be into plan A, plan B, plan C, because it's a lot of negotiation involved, and you want to see how you position yourself in a way in which probably you'll not get the plan A, but you could work by opening it with the plan A. You're gonna work out your way towards a great plan B and not to get to plan C, because you sometimes you need also to bring into discussion different things and anticipate certain moves, and everybody will announce certain objectives as plan A, but actually they are looking for or that's the ideal case, and they are more realistic that they're gonna get to plan B. So it's very important to know your objectives and how to communicate these objectives and to position yourself into the deal. Involving this type of maintaining relationships, it is a possibility, and many times you'll be in the situation in which you'll be having into that deal two partners with which you're gonna compete. So at one level you're gonna ally with one of them with the potential to disturb the relationship with the third one or with the second one. So it's very complex how to deal with this situation, that you want to get be okay with both of them or with the three of them, everybody including you competing for the same objective, getting maybe a bit more from that deal. So it's a very seductory process in which you kind of need to get, and it's pretty moving terrains, moving sands, on which you're gonna be will be happening. And among the objectives would be the part of putting the money on, or putting as much money as possible, because if it's a winning deal, if it's a potentially winning horse, you want to put a big bet. Second, do you want to have more co-investments with a certain partner, which makes sense into your overall strategy? You want more deals from them. You want to get, maybe you have another deal under negotiation with that partner. So do you want to get something into this potential deal and lose on the other one, or the opposite? And this is, I would put it maybe at expanding your network, because it happens. You build up faster these relationships if you have investments together. Do you want to explore a new sector, and do you want to be close with somebody who knows that sector, as a co-investor, as a partner into that? It's about your investment thesis, or please, Anna.
I was wondering if you could walk us through like the due diligence process of co-investing. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience, your expertise on that?
The due diligence is not so so much different from any due diligence, just that at the level of consulting and validating with your investment board, you would expand this due diligence also to the other partners with which you are looking to invest. So if I'm gonna ask Silvia, what do you say about this? I need to get into the discussion also the dialogue with Paul, which might be a potential co-investor with us, and to get also his feelings, and that it's maybe more important. So you kind of have a pre-due diligence internally. You will see if you want to get into a due diligence with the partner, with the co-investors. You move also there. You get back to your investment committee with the fact that, remember that our pre-due diligence looked like this. I explored also with partner X and Z, and they are saying this and this, and you kind of redo your due diligence, but you're already starting to think of the investment thesis which you want to put into play, and to clarify your objective, clarify the objective which you want to get, and clarify what would be the strategy to get to that objective. We announce a bigger ticket first, and then we'll be able to discount it and to give it as a benefit to the other partners. Please, Anna.
No, yeah, I'm clarified. Well, we're running out of time, so Cristian, if you want to add some last remarks, this will be the time to do it.
Yeah, I would just I think I added a lot of things. Let's feel free to jump in with other potential clarifications which you need or you think at them.
Great, amazing. Thank you so much, Cristian. Is there any last question that the participants want to ask? If not, we can move to the break, but I will give you 30 seconds to...
Sorry for getting into the break. I see now that what's the time?
Yes, it's a 10-minute break, and then we'll go for the sharing of insights. Natasha has been gathering all the insights from the conversation, and she will share with us, you know, the sum up of the session. So yeah, if there are no questions, João, you can cue the music or grab a coffee. And yeah, we'll be back in 10. See you in a moment. Right, 1 minute to start. Hello, I see you're getting back. Just please let us know if you are totally back, because we can't see you with your cameras off. Yes, Cristian is here. Amazing. Okay, so Natasha, do you want to go ahead and share, the sum up of this discussion so we can all leave with the insights?
Sure. So we mentioned, actually, Cristian mentioned topics of challenges and benefits in the co-investments. This is definitely a collaboration and a union of efforts, and the team has to be aware of the steps in order to have a successful collaboration. One of the challenges of this co-investment is definitely to have a systemic or platform approach, and maintaining this group of investors. And also a benefit from this is the value that they add with their insights and with their recommendations. These types of platforms are something that investment groups are looking for, and it will be a great asset. However, it is demanding in terms of resources, and it would be hard to find a coordinator. Having commitment in this group is key, and this is related to ticket investments, and the ticket size is also a strategic move and can vary from country to country. And you have to be also prepared to deal with low effort investors in these types of groups. And also proximity is an important factor when it comes to investments. These are a little bit of the sum up of discussion that I picked up.
Yes, amazing, Natasha. Thank you. I think I'll just go ahead and also share some of the insights that I collected from Cristian, which, before going into co-investing, especially if you want to save your time, you really need to know what your goals are. Like doing your homework in terms of really exploring the opportunity, and having, managing expectations and really, have a clear idea what you want. Building trust is also very, very important, because you cannot co-invest if you don't have a trusting relationship. But also being flexible and adaptable, because co-investing can be a very dynamic and an unpredictable phenomenon. So yeah, these are my 3 key insights that I took from this discussion. I'd really like to hear from you if you have more to add. I know that we have a question in the chat from Yorius. Cristian, if you are able to answer. He asks, how often...
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, yes.
I'll just read it and then you can go ahead and answer. So Yorios is asking, how often do VCs from different countries co-invest? It is usual that the case is usually that diaspora or alumni links play a role. What are the barriers to co-investing? Okay, I think these are some, I will break it down. So let's start with, how often do VCs from different countries co-invest? Is it usual?
From different VCs from different countries, yes, as the company. So the regular part is that we invest smaller tickets together with an accelerator or an angel, or accelerators invest with angels. This puts the company, if it's validated, on the attention of VCs, and the VCs will gonna activate from more countries, and you want that. That I would say that 50% of the cases, the early stage, so we talk about early stage deals, or pre-seed to seed, or to seed deals rather. Pre-seed would be more locally. The seed deals, early seed and late seed deals will tend to be with VCs from different countries, and you want that. And why it's good is that you want them to have access to more markets. And a VC present there will put their networks at work.
Right. The next question is, what are the barriers to co-investing? Cultural, trust, initial mandate rigidity, regulatory?
All of them. Like it's all, and the mix of them, and that it's something which you need to navigate, and not all the times you'll manage to navigate, and you'll say let's say the default rate of getting engaged into a deal and not conducting it to the end tends to be towards 30%. Things to drop in the process, which not necessarily you can handle. You try, but you're not gonna succeed with all of them, because all these ones and maybe additional ones.
Yeah. And are there any make or break issues that we should pay attention to?
Definitely make or break things are related with the startup and with the company, and you kind of utilize the due diligence process and the soft discussions with all the VCs in terms of identifying this type of things. So sometimes it's very good to attract a potential co-investor into the deal, just to help you, or you to help them to learn certain things, and you end up not investing, but you end up contributing to that deal, which is good. It's you assume that it's part of the game, you to bring contribution, to open new perspectives to your fellow co-investors, or even to startups to understand, yeah, I have a bad plan, I need to really redo it, come back in 2 weeks with it, and let's sign the deal. We had situations in which I'll just mention one situation in which we told them, guys, you're asking a ticket that is too small. You need to make it like double. We are worried that you're gonna invent new activities now in order to make it double. But let's see if you think you can spend more money and be more resilient with your plan, and more to put more pressure on the market with your plan.
All right. So Yordio's last question is, would you say that we cannot bypass local VCs? How could we?
It's hard to bypass local investors. I wouldn't say only VCs, because at the due diligence of a larger VC, which usually it's regional or multi-country or international, they are saying they know that they are not the smartest in Romania about identifying deals. And they say, okay, we are not the smartest in Romania, why didn't other smart people from Romania invested into this deal? And it's kind of like the tomatoes should be red. Why aren't they red? You know, and the red part of the tomatoes refers to the fact that local investors identify faster local deals, and you should, as a startup, you should follow this success journey, which is acceptable by all the stakeholders, and not challenge it too much. It's good to challenge, but not 50% of the things to challenge, or the super important things. So the question was that regarding that they cannot surpass the local investors. Is not a airtight thing that is not possible. Just that in 80% of the cases, a startup should work with some local type of investors, VCs, angels, seed accelerators, incubators, and tick that box, and then jump to the regional part. And it's also, maybe you are having something which is super changing the market, and somebody locally will say you are too brave, you are too smart for this century, and they'll not believe you. Then you're gonna go to more specialized investors, which they're gonna get your thesis of a startup, and they'll say, yeah, you are Einstein, and we believe that you are building the theory of relativity. For sure, those in your block at in your neighborhood don't believe you, because you are one of them, and you cannot be so smart.
Yes, thank you. You already just said thank you. Hope this was useful.
Yeah, thank you, Arias, also.
All right. Does anyone else want to bring any other insights? Cristian, also feel free if you want to share anything.
Yeah, what I wanted to add, continuing with what I just said, a trick would be, okay, go and find those which want to, which believe into you, get their interest, not necessarily their commitment, because another thing is, how do you get a term sheet for somebody which says that wants to invest into you? That's a bit more difficult. So maybe you're not gonna get a term sheet from a foreign one, which is your perfect investor in your opinion, but get back to local investors with that interest and say that, look, these guys say these good things about me. What do you say about what they say? Don't you want to say something nice about this, and to start talking about this opportunity? Because in management is this term of called up managing. So you kind of up manage your potential investors like this. You help them build the case by bringing them arguments to the table in front of their thinking.
Very well. Thank you, Cristian, for those last regards. Okay, if nobody wants to add anything else, we'll go to concluding this moment. João, can you please share the survey in the chat? We ask you to please take 3 minutes to fill out the satisfaction survey that is in the chat, in the link. Let me know if you have any troubles accessing it. And João,
yeah, meanwhile, what I want to add, it's also Paul and Anna, I think would be interesting to continue to have this co-investment mentality discussions and maybe identify ways of how to collide our investment groups, and maybe in similar sessions like this, but done differently. I don't know, once at 2-3 months, maybe, to kind of bring together, because this is also helpful for investors to see perspectives from other angles, geographies, specializations, different ecosystems. So maybe it would be good, also in the co-investing project, maybe to continue with this, or because I didn't have the I think this discussion opens up this possibility.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great kicking point to see what we can do in the future. I hope we can continue collaborating